Dobrowolski. I'm saddle fitting specialist and I'm also equine ergonomist. And we met today with Elaine, which is who is a good friend of mine. And Elaine is Right With Your Mind coach, and she's very popular here in Poland, just teaching the riders how to use their biomechanics correctly and how to make the horse work happily and effectively. And we are here to discuss the topic of holistic approach to the horse well-being, and also to share our thoughts on saddle fitting and the role of the saddle from our perspective as equine professionals. Elaine, how would you expect the saddle to work for the horse from your perspective as a coach, as a teacher of riding?
Well, I need to see that the saddle allows enough freedom of movement. If the horse is restricted, especially in the shoulders, but sometimes also in the lumbar area, you will not expect the dressage horse to work in collection. The jumping horse won't make a nice shape over a fence. The race horse won't race fast enough. So whichever discipline you're looking at, whether it's Western riding or English riding or whatever, the saddle needs to suit the purpose. Some people who do not have enough understanding of the saddle think that any saddle will fit any horse. And so then you have a horse that's very tense in his muscles, does not work happily under the rider. Sometimes the riders think the horse is being naughty, misbehaving, when actually it's an equipment problem. So very often I'm saying stop, the saddle is too far forward, or we need to change the saddle because the saddle is pressing on the horse's spine, for example. So very often in my lessons we don't get past the first 10 minutes because I'm saying we need to change the girth, we need to change the pad, we need to move the saddle, or in fact we need to find another solution to make the horse happy. And only then can you really start working with the rider. But on the other side we also have the fact that many riders or many saddles don't fit the rider. So if the rider changes shape, loses weight, gains weight, or maybe you share a saddle with a friend of yours who also rides your horse, you need to have a saddle that's adaptable for both of you. And if one's short and one's tall, then you need to consider the role of the flap, the blocks, the size of the seat, and these things. If you have a cross-purpose horse, maybe you have a horse that you do mainly dressage with, but you also like to do some jumping, some cavaletti work. Let's say you need to be able to put your stirrups up and feel safe in that saddle when you do a few small obstacles. So the saddle needs to be flexible enough to accommodate your needs, your horse's needs, and the job that you're going to do.
It's very interesting what you say, and I would like to add that for my experience as equine physiotherapist and also as saddle fitter, the topic of the saddle fitting is underestimated. When we think of saddles, many times we don't see the risks that are connected with saddle fitting, and this can be very serious. Some of them are unrepairable for the horse, so this is long-term damage. And many times when we ride the horses, we just try to force them, and we just struggle.
Exactly.
Just to do the job still in the saddle, even if the horse is not able to work correctly, even if we biomechanically cannot stay in the right position. So that's a big problem. And also we don't see the benefits of the good saddle. So we underestimate also this, because many people, they are so used to ride in the bad saddles, and they are so used to the horse moving stiff and not using his body to the full ability, that they don't know what they miss.
They don't know what they're missing, exactly,
And they don't know really what they are looking for. And I'm thrilled when riders, they explain to me that Oh no, I had my saddle fit full time 5 years ago, and my horse didn't change a bit. So that made me think what happened that the living animal in a good training, it's the same like going to the gym and doing your training correct. Your body changes, and the saddle need to follow that change of body. Once the body does not change, it makes me think that something
wrong.
must be wrong.
There are also seasonal changes. I mean, in the old times, 50 years ago, 100 years ago, people had a saddle for the summer and a saddle for the winter. You didn't have changeable trees. You didn't have gullets that could be adjusted and things like that. So you had a saddle for the shape of your horse when he was in work in the summer, maybe a bit bigger, a bit more muscled up, more weight. And when in the winter, when the horse was not being ridden so much, they had a different style saddle or a smaller one that fitted. Right. Yeah. Okay. So also, I mean, really, if you're going to specialise in dressage, you should have a dressage saddle.